Hello everyone. So in this video, we will create a simple Spring Boot application that is a CRUD application using the MySQL database in the backend side, and we'll use the JDBC template rather than the traditional entity, JP entity, repository, and that flow. All right. So first we will set up the MySQL DB on Ubuntu VM, and we'll use GCP, that is Google Cloud VM, and then we'll create and configure the Spring Boot, and then we'll test using the Swagger and maybe a Postman, but most probably we'll use the Swagger, and I want you guys to test using the Postman. All right, so let's get started. So let's first create a VM, Ubuntu VM. So I'll just open the GCP, this Google Cloud Platform, and create computer engine and click on this instance, and I'll just go with the default. I'll just this name as MySQL instance, and just change the boot days to Ubuntu, select, and just click on the create. So now let us do an SSH. So let's maximize it and log in as an admin, sudo su. First update the packages, and then upgrade it. So after this command, we'll install the Docker, install docker.io, and then I will use this docker run command for installation of MySQL image, and with the admin password as a root123. So now let's check Dr. PS. So MySQL is up and running, and now let us go into the uh, machine, and then we will use this MySQL u, that is root, and then password for P, and let's put into our password. So now we are having a MySQL prompt. So first of all, I'll just create a user database, uh, that is userdb. Then I'll simply create a simple table. Yeah, use usersdb, and then I'll create a file insert statement. Okay, and now let's check from users. So we have all 5 statements are there. All right, and now what we'll do, because we want to call it from Spring Boot application, so we just need to add this firewall over here. So let's edit it, and I'll just open another instance of GCP, and I simply say firewall. I already created a simple firewall which allows MySQL and Postgres port to be opened. So this is allow MySQL firewall, and it has, if you see, the protocol in the ports are 3306 and 5432. So we are interested in 3306, that is a default port, and what I will do is I'll just copy this tag, and here in the network tags I'll just add it and save it. So now we can access this MySQL from outside world. So now I will use this SQL developer for this MySQL. So what we can do, because by default it will not allow us to create, it is default for Oracle. So what I'll go to the tool And here if you see database and third party JDBC driver, so we have to call the JDBC driver. So um, we can download JDBC driver from MySQL site, and let's wait for download. And here I just go this thing, okay, and I'll just extract it here, and this is the driver. So what I will do is I'll just simply um, add entry, and if you see, you can here, and we can just select this driver, okay. And now if I go with a new connection and Oracle, then we have MySQL and PostgreSQL, all three are there. So Postgres I already tried previously, so currently I'm trying this MySQL, and I've since it MySQL connection, and username is our root and root 123 that we have given at the time of Docker creation. We required its hostname, so hostname should be the MySQL instance IP address. This is an IP address, and I'll just use this IP address over here and choose the database. So we have users DB is there, right? We just created, and now let's test it. Connection is success, and now let's connect it. So MySQL connection is there, and we have a new SQL editor window, and I'll just say select star from users, or first use users DB, and now let's say show tables. So we have users table, and now let us select star from users. Okay, so 5 rows are there now. All right, now let us create a simple Spring Boot application, and I'll just give say MySQL JdbcTemplate example, right? And I'll choose a Maven. I'll go with the default, and I'll just add only um, web. In fact, you can use the add the JPA as well. Okay, and just simply say control, and it will generate. So copy this is and paste into our work folder here in a Spring Boot example, and so MySQL CRUD example in fact, but we are using the JDBC template instead of the traditional one. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll just open this file, MySQL JDBC, and trust this project, open this new window, and in the POM we already have JPA and web, so we'll just need a MySQL connector. Okay, simple, and just do a Maven refresh. All right, now let us first of all configure the MySQL. So we go to the application resource, application properties, and simply MySQL DB configuration. Spring data source, and I'll simply say MySQL.jdbc URL, and then with instead of the local host, we can use the IP address. Okay, so I'll just go to IP address. Your DB name is users DB, and your username is root, and your password is root123, and then you have a driver class name. So I'll just simply say class name. Okay. All right. So now I'll just create a package called app-config, and I'll just create a name Java class. Um, oh, sorry. This should be config rename. The package name should be config, and the class name is app config. So all the configuration will put over here. All right. And this is nothing but a simple component, and we'll create a simple bean, and we have a configuration properties, a Spring Boot, or either you can instead of ds. All right. So here, yeah, and then we have we will return the data source. In fact, MySQL data source config, and using the data source builder dot create dot build. So MySQL configuration is okay. We have just prefix spring.ds.sql. So all the properties with this prefix will automatically injected over here. Okay. All right. And I'll simply create a model package for our users model, and the class name is user. So you can see here the table name is users. So just class name is user, and the same property which we are having in a table. Okay, so we'll have no our customer and all our customer, and simply, so what I will do is I'll simply um, generate the setters and getters, all property. Okay, and now I'll create a users DAO class. Again, it's you can say component, or you can also, as a stereotype, you can put as a repository. And then I'll have a two AutoWire dependency, and data source first of all. So MySQL data source and the JdbcTemplate. All right. So now I'll write down the methods like okay, here, or you can simply say this one. Okay, and then get all users. Select star and query for uh, I'll just say list and user. Query is fine. Okay, and we have lots of property, like not only this name and email, but we have property first name, last name, email, role, and city. Okay. Hmm. With ID, first name, last name, email, role, and in city. Okay, so this is user is okay. Okay, so now let's create a service package, and I'll just seek user service and annotate with service and autowire um, user DAO and but all the users. Okay, and now I will create a controller class. So first let's create a controller package, controller. Okay, then I'll create user controller and annotate with the REST controller. So now we need uh, user service. Okay, and get all the users. Okay, all right. Now we will try to run this application and check whether all look good or not. So if any error, then we'll fix it. Okay, there is some error. It's showing unknown database. So in the application, this is user DB. Let's try to rerun the application. Yeah, looks okay. No, data source, property data source is required. I think we don't need this part. It's an auto wire, right? Okay, and also I'll just put into the DAO. Okay, now let us rerun the application, and I'll just go to the localhost and users. Okay, let me refresh it. Oh, is it a string return? Okay, I'm getting the object, but we are not getting. Okay, so instead of the string, that if we do users and rather than a string, we'll just return the list of users so that we can get a JSON format results. And now let us refresh. Okay, so we got all the 5 records. So now let's test other APIs. But before that, I just like to add, because for testing the post methods, we need either Postman or Swagger. So I'll just use Swagger. Okay, here. All right. So now, uh, okay, let's refresh it, Maven. And now let us add all other methods. So I'll just first of all get users by ID. So here, and if you see, this is lambda expression because this is a row mapper. And if you go with this query F3, and you can see there is a row mapper, and row mapper is a functional interface, so that we can use the row mapper as a lambda expression. So this is where exactly the result set, it is just taking the argument result sets, and this I is for iteration of this each and every rows, and then we'll get the list of users inside that. Okay, so now we have an ID. Now let's add user. So we have this simply insert statement, and because ID is auto generated, so we have only 5 values. Okay, and then we will update user. Well, we'll have an update query. Again, is a very simple, and then we have a delete user, and we have a delete query. All right, so now the same applies to the service. Again, get user by ID. It's a pretty straightforward, so not going in detail. And then we have a controller. So then we will get user by ID. Okay. Again, we are just calling the user service, and indirectly we'll calling the user DAO method. Then we have an add user. So here, because we are passing a object, we need a request body. Okay, and then the same applies to update user. And then for delete, we just need an ID. And here we need users ID. Okay, and path path variable. Okay, so we'll have an ID. Okay, and the same applies over here. Okay, all right, look pretty okay. Let us try to rerun the application. But before that, we have to change these settings. Like this is update method, so it should be put method, put mapping, and this should be delete mapping. Okay, now let us try to rerun the application. Okay, so application is running, so I'll just go to this and localhost, and I'll just use the Swagger. So you have a Swagger UI slash index.xml, and we have everything. So now let us first of all get all user and try it out because we don't require any sort of parameter. Execute it. Got all the user, right? So now what I will do is I'll just um, user by ID and try it out, and I'll just simply say I'm interested in a phone number user, and we got an ID for the phone. Okay, and then we'll post. So we have currently 5 rows. How many rows are there? Again, let's rerun the application. 5 rows. Let's add the sixth one. Um, okay, I'll just copy this part and I'll go with this post method. Try it out, and I'll just add this. So I'll just simply change the name. We don't need ID because we are just adding automatically. ID will be generated. Bob Bob updated our Bob 2, William 2, William 2. Okay, and we'll try to add it, and we have 200 response. And now let us refresh this one. So currently we have 5. Hopefully we should have 161. Okay, and the same if I want update, so what I can do is update by ID. So we have to send the ID as well. So what I'll do is just simply I just want to Again, fifth number. Okay, let's first of all get user from here. So fifth number ID just I want to update. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just simply go to the update method, that is a put one. Okay, you can try it out. Mention over here, except for ID, everything can be updated. Okay, simply say execute, and I got a 200 response. And now let us get all the users, and the sixth one. Okay, whether it's been updated or not, let's check. Oh, why William 5 should be updated, but oh, required body EVA updated. What is that problem? It's showing 200x, 200, and why it is not updating? Oh, okay, it updated. EVA updated and round updated. We didn't refresh properly. Alright, my bad for that, but it's updating. And as last one is, let's delete the resource. So we delete the last one. There is a sixth one that we have added. So I just simply say remove the sixth one, that is Bob2, and execute it. Okay, showing 200 response, and let's refresh this, and then we got a 5. All right, so we have completely used this JDBC template without entity and all, and the CRUD operation for the MySQL with the Spring Boot. So contemporary is the latest Spring Boot at the time of video recording. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.